Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. Holy cannoli and a bucket of snakes. There's been so much energy happening. It's been a crazy, crazy couple of months, years, decades, whatever. Um, I got the opportunity to talk to Elsa a little while ago, and we were chatting, and the whole time there were so many topics coming in, and we were so excited, and immediately Elsa knew we needed to go live. So I've been looking forward to joining Elsa on today's show. So I just want to say welcome to Elsa. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
We're doing really well. It's been a big week for everyone, I feel. So I know we keep coming on saying this, but they keep reaching higher highs with the solar flares. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we knew this was coming, but I can't imagine what it would be like for someone that has no idea what's going on. It would be very, feel like everything's falling apart.
Right.
And we've been there, so we know how that feels.
Yeah. And then all the Ascension symptoms that are happening, and all of these once in a lifetime events happening every single day now.
Yeah. It's like, you know how when the media used to have a bigger catastrophe? Well, it's like, okay, that's the media's version. This is the galaxy's version of it. Okay, so we'll do equinox, we'll do a comet, and eclipse. Let's do an eclipse. So, and throw a full moon in there. So it's like this big mixing pot and going, how are they coping? Keep stirring. How are they coping? And I
A
mean,
little
I'm
bit more
laughing about
this.
it. Yeah, I'm laughing about it. It
Right.
it's tricky though it is tricky to maneuver around, and these symptoms affect Mila and us as well. So
Yeah. I am having more and I mentioned I did a meditation group with the Telegram people. Those of you who aren't in our Telegram group, the link is in the description of the video here. I can't remember how many there are anymore. There's over 400. It might be closer to 500 now. I can't remember. I don't really pay attention. I just go in and talk to people and then disappear again. um, anyway, a group of us in the Telegram group, we did a meditation on the during the eclipse. So anyone who missed it, it's posted. The audio is posted there. You can go back and do it. It was really fascinating, though, is that during that energy that, or just before we did the meditation, I was talking about one in particular, and I wonder if you're having it too, Elsa. It's uh, this shoulder stuff, and it's out of nowhere. It's got nothing to do with any kind of extra work. But it has. It's not shoulder. It's more. It's got to do with where your wings would be. There's a wing activation that a lot of people are having, and I'm wondering if it's like soreness, and it also just feels like, I don't know, you just need to stretch out a bit, and there's something going on, almost like you carried a backpack too long on one side. Are you having that? I'm just curious. You are.
we are. So it generally comes in on the neck and then drops down a bit into the shoulder,
Yeah.
and then I find it can go all the way down to the bottom of the spine.
Yeah.
And I learned something this week, which is really odd, about the Sphinx. Someone posted something about the Sphinx, that it's a human head with a body of a lion with wings, and you go back through the history of it. It's actually a female. It always comes back to being a female. This is not against man or woman. There's no separation, and then you mix in with the ant energy and our origins and our true DNA. It's not the monkey. If you're
Mm.
following the whole monkey thing, that's part of the man key, is knowing that it isn't the monkey. But, you don't have to believe me. This is just my belief systems. Anyway, this Sphinx it looks like a ant if you turn them. And so we have layers and layers and layers of hybrids changing, and I keep feeling that the head's separate to the body. And this is where the pain is, right? in
Yeah.
this tiny canal right here.
Hmm.
And this is what, saying let go of ego. This is where our spinal cord comes up. Then it bends over like a hook to go to the pineal gland.
Uh-huh.
So it's got to pass reptilian brain. Are you seeing like they've just...
Right.
It, I don't know how it all works, but I know there is definitely... once you understand the Sphinx and the Sphinx of us,
Hmm.
our origins, it helps you understand that possibly these new solar flares and upgrades, this has been going on for years. It's not an attack on humans.
No, you're right.
It isn't, and it's the fact that it has wings.
Hmm.
Like you said, it's like they've been cut off or folded back in, or maybe they're our lungs. I don't know how they've manipulated us. But when you look at us to an ant, that's a big journey.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think it's Kate who calls us the giants.
Hey, there you go.
Well, like we're the GI of the ants, we're the soldier ants. These words, they're all in our language, and you go, why?
Yeah, and the GI. You brought up the GI, and that brought up another Ascension symptom is the GI tract stuff. Sorry, it seemed like you did that on purpose. The
What
GI
is the
tract.
GI tract again? What is the GI
That's like
tract?
the bowel area. That's where the gastrointestinal.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so the biggest thing, so I go on and on about how the spleen is the heart. It was, and it was changed, and has something to do with how they manipulated the cross in religion as well. So they shifted our cross alignment. They shifted our alignment out for this duration so that we could integrate the others because we were collecting their intelligence as well. But now it's time for them to go, and we are the host of them. So this is why it's so important to keep them at bay in us, the ancient aliens in us at bay, because they will take over
Right.
how you think, how you behave, how your body looks. And this has been probably one of the big topics this week for our family is we had huge ones in our bodies this week. So not just us, all the animals as well. So this constipated us. This made us cranky. Lots of animal fights going on.
Right. Feel bloated, gassy.
Bloated, the fluid around the tummy. So you get the Buddha belly, like all this. And so you know how I know this? I don't know this from social media. I know this by cleaning our water fountain.
Mm.
I put charcoal in it because all the ducks, the cats and the dogs drink from this fountain, so do all the bees.
Mm.
I put charcoal in it. I've cleaned and scrubbed the fountain because it was full of this green plastic-looking slime that does not break down on the concrete once I've washed it off. Put the charcoal in, and within 1 or 2 hours of me, there's this floating ghost on top of the water, and looks like the things from lockdowns that they were doing here.
Mm-hmm.
And it grows in the water, and it looks like those things of Harry Potter, but in white, not black. What's the things on Harry Potter, and they use it to guard the castle?
Oh, I want to call them banshees, but they're not banshees.
No, okay.
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Spooky.
But
But these are in the water.
Great. No, it's not. What's it called? They're Dementors.
Oh yeah, these dement you. That really. So
Right.
in the water, I videoed it. I videoed it before, and it was a lot smaller. This one's huge, and it grows, and you can see it growing in the water. And I went, no wonder we're cranky. Then this week in particular, we have had because we're on farm sewer So we're not connected to the town. We have our own farm. It relies on stabilised bacteria in the tanks, so and then it leaks out into the paddocks. And whenever the bacteria gets thrown off, it gets this surge of a smell coming back through. And we've only had it a few times, and it happened again. And I've got friends overseas telling me that all their sewer gas sirens are going off through the streets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
A cute friend said, she goes, what's going on with all the shit at the moment? And I am laughing, and it's like dealing with our own, but there's too many synchronicities.
Yeah.
Also, we have a couple of pets die on the farm. We had a cat's eye explode. Yeah.
Ah,
And we had someone in the family have quite a shutdown this week. Yeah. And they're in healing. And I almost wasn't going to come on today, Mila, because it kicked off with that surge that we had yesterday at 11 a.m. here. It hit here 11 a.m. And these surges are like spiking the symptoms.
yeah. There's something that should be added to this to help understand too. This is to make it I'm sure you already know this. It's the parasites too. And I'm seeing the emotion comments here. Astra mentioned this. Vegan, I guess, mentioned it earlier before we went live. I can't pull up comments that people have written before we go live. These typically are associated with purging of parasites. So these parasites that we're talking about, what else is talking about right now are parasites as a type of parasite that goes through our system. And I've been noticing too, by the way, for those of you who are interested, a lot of this Buddha belly stuff is a side effect of liver stuff, and a lot of people's liver. And this is the liver is a place where we filter anger. Okay, filter is probably not the rightest word, the most correct word, because it's metabolize is the word they use, and I just don't feel like that lines up the way I'm trying to explain it. Digest, process. Let's use that one. It processes anger, and we have come to this world, a world that at the time when we incarnated, use the language of fear, and fear, the next thing from fear is anger, right? And all things are either from fear or from love. And then there's the spectrum in between. And so we don't have to use this. We are beings who speak with love and fear, sometimes sounding like anger, scared, and that's how we've been talking to each other. We've been speaking in the local language. And now we are raising the frequency of the planet up to a point where there's no longer a need to regress and to use this anger and fear and anxiety stuff as much, and so it's purging itself. And so the more we hold on to it, the more it resists. And to double that up, to keep us in this fear space, most of these parasites carry that sensation, that fear and anxiety. And so as they're leaving our bodies, a lot of times, even if it's in the bathroom, a lot of times you'll notice you'll have an emotional response. Like, I know this sounds probably kind of gross, but just observe your emotion as you're purging this, and you'll notice these anger, fear, all these types of emotions come up. This is what it's like for the parasites as they're leaving your body, your form. It's just fascinating. So I'm bringing this up to just once again remind people, if you can, do purges or cleanses of parasite cleansing. Do what Elsa's talking about, cleaning your water, using clean water, considering what you're ingesting food-wise. Parasites are normal. We've had parasites forever. It's just that we, during the book burnings, were taught to stop. We're no longer taught to purge and how to get rid of these parasites. right? And so they've piled up. And then they keep adding, by the way, they're also adding parasites to our food on purpose to get you to want more of it, especially processed foods. So,
Well, this is where it started for us, was the 13th of Friday the 13th. Yeah, funny. See, we don't feel that Friday the 13th the bad day. It was actually a great day because we woke up to messages of ginseng and bile salt and taurine and this is my, like, okay, why am I waking up to bile salt? But this is my first thought. So where does this come from? You know, I'm not a physicist. I'm a photographer. I'm a fashion photographer. I should be waking up to shoes or something, not bile salt. Anyway, the family, not the whole family, because there's a lot of us, so the family often break up and go off and do their things for the day. They went and bought apples from one store, 5 of them, and there was something in the apple, and it was a poison apple. And I was like, really? Are we going down a poison apple? This started the effect in our family. They all got sick. One family member is very ill, and it's liver. And so you have where you are in your body's health now, plus the parasites that are already been in there, plus the new ones they've added, plus any other poisons or EMF. So then you have the solar flares.
yeah.
Okay, I just want to bring up, so parasite and virus are the same thing.
Right, right.
Bacteria is not the same thing. Bacteria doesn't need a host. The way you can tell the difference is a parasite and a virus needs a host. It cannot live without a host. This is what I class and believe is ancient alien DNA. They do not know when they arrived. I think the word they use for this is just like real. I'm like, really arrived? Okay. Bacteria is mushrooms, fungus, algae, all this sort of stuff. Bacteria, you need a certain amount of bacteria in your body to have a natural flora. This bacteria can make you ill, but they usually have a balance in you. The parasites throw this out because they've got another agenda going on. To compare the size difference, bacteria is a giraffe, and parasite and virus is a goldfish in a bowl. This is the closest in size. Then they get much smaller again. When you talk about how do aliens get to Earth, because everyone thinks big, right? They think Star Wars. And then, I don't know, something about humans where they just do not, there's a massive resistance to this. And this, I feel, is part of disclosure, is they can't condense it and go, there's intelligence in the small. Mm-hmm. It's like this egoic type thing in the humans. It has to be bigger than us to take us over. And it's like, really? Okay, well, this is part of the trick.
Right. Right. I totally agree. And it is on the microscopic level. This stuff that's been introduced, hey, it's 222. That's
well, it's 522 here, which is to me still 222.
well, yeah. Hey.
It's just been flipped upside down because we're in Australia, that's all.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're on the other side. Yeah, everything's upside down, right? If we believe the way that the maps are told that they are, anyway. That's a whole nother topic. I remember actually when I was in college, I was super excited. I took a class, Life in the Universe, and I was like, here we go, yay! And it was all about like microscopic stuff, and at first I was disappointed, because I was waiting to see some Martian with antenna, you know what I mean? And but this is really where, if you look at anything through a microscope, it's a whole different world. And so the ETs that came in, oh gosh, it's been 4 years ago now, that put the electricity in the triangle around my eye, and then you could follow the electricity through your body. What they showed is that you can, in a meditation way, put yourself in a microscopic level and kind of ride your own electricity through your body. And then you can see inside your body that it actually looks like a whole universe in there. And down in there, through your body, you'll notice that only about 70% of your body is you. Like, isn't that crazy? The rest of that's a big percentage that isn't actually you. Like, that's a lot of foreign others.
Well, this is why there's a lot of anger. Well, the Sphinx. Okay, so now we come back to the Sphinx. Sphinx is strangulation.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
when you read a lot of this text, you have to work out where it's coming from as well, because a lot of people read the text and go, "Oh, that's to kill us." No, 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 no. This, once you understand the Sphinx, you understand asphyxiation. Do you see what I'm doing? This is what you have 4 spots in your body that do these sphincters. The force again, right?
Yeah.
The force. The compass, and these squeeze them out.
Right.
Yeah, so if you understand Sphinx, you understand and you strangle them.
Right.
So see how the text, they came, I don't know when this date was, because I'm like you, Mila, I don't get the dates. I just use them as codes now, but the whole date thing's crazy.
Right.
But when they came in, they started language and religion. And this is part of something that had to get us to this point to take us to the next higher breed. So they taught us language and religion to create separation in us.
Right.
Because prior to this, we were telepathic. So we've turned this off. This is in the evolution of us, my belief of it and what I've been taught. So again, this is, just if it feels right for you. But so they've turned this off, but they've used language and religion as part of a way to separate and control the masses. And so then they can create different senses in you with the spells that you create. Because this is if you, the ancient alien DNA get off on the sense. They don't have eyes and hands like us. They get off on the sense. So if your energy goes to this, they don't like it. If your energy goes to this, they like that. If you're a host, they need you to be in a weaker state. If you're all happy and buzzy and your cells in your body are vibrating high, they can't stick on.
Right.
And you're making it hard and difficult for them. Yep. Can you see what I'm saying? So they're like, "Oh, she's smiling again. Stop smiling." I can't. I was just about to jump on this little cell, and now she's smiling again. Stop smiling. So they become angry when they're leaving the body. They don't want to leave you. You're fun. The reason they're there is because they like being in us. They came here to be in us.
Yeah.
And you have to get over the whole anger part, because that's them leaving. You're feeling their emotion. Like you said, the percentage, you're feeling them. You can feel them leaving. And this is the word narcissist. Narcissist, you watch how a narcissist behaves. You look at their energy. I'm sure you can see it, Mila, when you see a narcissist, they have an imbalance in there of them. And it's tar-cyst. Narcissist is tar-cyst. It's mukas, musi-us. So they create, for protection, they create mucus around themselves a lot. Or they call it, what is it called? Plaque, parasite plaque. So they
Right.
create a mucus around themselves or a cyst. So if you have big cysts up here, please, check them out,
Right.
because they go dormant in them.
Yeah.
And sometimes they take years. Like there's I call them the menopause ones, man pause. They come out after 40, 50 years in
Mhm.
us up here.
Yeah.
So I'm going on a bit about it today because
This is good.
when you see what's happened to one of our family members, it's if we took them to hospital, they would say it was life and death situation, but we don't believe this, so we practice something different. But yeah, it's if you don't get a hold of this stuff, like Mila talks about, it can end you quickly.
And that's what's been happening. That's what's been happening for so long, because our lifespans have been believed to be much shorter than they actually are meant to be. Like, we can choose to just, go on and keep doing what we're doing and, eat your Doritos and, watch your TV and do your thing. And, or you can, like choose to live and to say, no, I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to be, swayed in my body, my emotional body, my physical body, my, spiritual body. We have a lot of bodies, man. That's what they mean when they say everybody. We're talking about us, not everybody in the room, everybody in this room, in our original womb, and this particular cyst that you're talking about around the head, they're typically people will get them at the base of their head, in between their neck and their head, that little spot, that crux, that place that I've always called the dream chakra, because that's where the dream walking occurs and that's where the spirit enters the body. This area right here, this is where these little beings will hang out the most, and they really want to be here. You know what I mean? And they make us believe or feel that purging them is like murder, like the end of their life.
It is. And the ones that Richard had cut out of his back, exactly where you said, oh, that was weird, because I could hear them being cut out. I could hear them screaming. I thought it was Richard. Yeah, that was a weird day. But as soon as he had them taken out, he had a local anaesthetic, so that has adrenaline in it.
Mhm.
And we walked out of this surgery with Richard, and I said, so how do you feel? And he says, oh, I feel like shaky from the adrenaline of the... But he said, I feel horizontal, like Horus. And I was like, whoa, so he's been feeling off alignment. He's had this in him since he was in hospital from one of his motorbike accidents.
Right.
So since 17.
Right.
So his whole life he's been like that, straightened up.
And
From
then finally,
cysts. Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, from cysts though, like not one. We thought there was only one, but there was another one hiding behind it. And they're like little, if you see a cyst on you, they're like icebergs. You know how you only see 1/5?
Yeah.
They're a lot bigger. Because the cyst on the back of Richard's neck was little, and then when the doctor's cutting it out, the kids wanted me to film it because they love all that. And I was like, oh, this is going to be hard. Anyway, I took photos because I couldn't stomach the whole thing. But when he was taking it out, it got bigger. Like a tug of war pulling this thing out. This thing did not want to leave. And then to have another one behind it, whoa.
Yeah.
This is when I realised that they're actually, not all of some of them can be dried up, but a lot of them are alive there.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things that are suggested to assist you in a Um, rather than medical intervention like Elsa has mentioned. I can't think of any of them on the top of my head, unfortunately. But do your research. There's a lot of, most of this stuff is, you treat it like you would parasites. And so we've been talking about it so much lately. I know, like the conversation I had with Guardian and Yolanda Marie last week, a lot of comments came up. I just kept bringing them up, and go through and read those too, because there's some really, really good different remedies, homeopathic home stuff you can just grow in your window. Like, and it's so easy to have a window planter. I find it so fascinating when I meet people who don't have one. Like, if you want, you can just, it's like a plastic bucket, just a narrow plastic bucket. You don't even need to be anything really fancy. And just stick it in a window that gets sunlight, and you can grow stuff in there all year long. And if you use stuff that's grown in your biosphere that's closest to you, it's that much more useful, because it harmonizes with your own needs. That's how it works. The farther away from your heart center you go, that something's grown, the farther away from its balance of what your body's going to need is going to be. That's why a lot of people will put seeds in their mouth before they plant them, to code the seed. So I just wanted to bring that up. There's a lot of things that we can do, and just keeping this in mind. One of it comes back to the tree again, is is the pine tree specifically. Is that there's so much benefits that you can get from the pine tree. A variety of different types of pine too. Like there's a bunch of them. I came from Washington State, where that was like mostly all of the trees were pine out that way, or different types of pine. And I know that the pine bark is one of those things. What were you saying about that, Elsa? Wasn't there something about if you live next to a tree or something? How did that work?
Okay, so pine, a juvenile pine has the greatest energy, they say. And as in, so we're speaking about the sphere. Like, I always use your sample behind you, Mila, because it's very descriptive, because it's got a lot going on. But yeah, so just imagine that's one of you, and then your cells have that as well, and everyone has this. So there's multiple of those in you as well as you. So then the plants are like that as well. So if you have something growing in your sphere, and then your sphere, you're helping each other. This is why it's important to have community, it's important to have family, it's important to have pets, it's important to talk to water, because our crystals or candlelight, everything has energy, and so you're interacting with this energy. And this will be the greatest thing to help you. Getting something from South Africa, from Australia, is kind of a little bit off track.
Right.
And so you go to the grocery store and you read the stickers, and it's used to be produce that was from here. But now the stickers are saying this country, this country, this country. And you're going, so which one is from Australia? And
Right.
it becomes limited. Why? If so, again, the separation. Why are they creating separation? It's deliberate.
Yeah. Yep.
This system has been set up way back
Yep.
for this now, for the great harvest of humans.
Mm-hmm.
It's not some big spaceship that's going to come down and take us. It's the harvest of them within us. And so I think they thought they had it all in the bag, literally.
Right.
And they weren't prepared for how quickly we could change.
Yeah.
And it's people like you, Mila, that they weren't prepared for. They were expecting some big guru.
Now
They
some
weren't
lady working out of her basement.
yeah, some crazy lady on a farm. Like it's the mothers. It's the mothers, it's the fathers, it's the uncles, it's the aunts, the grandmothers coming through and going, you know what? enough's enough. We can do this. And so where the disclosure is us purging, bringing it to a balance, and allowing the narcissists in us to leave.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you see someone in narcissist behavior, you'll probably remember times when you were similar. I have to say, I do want to shake him a little bit, but I'll slap him. I'd love to slap one. Like a fly, you know, go away, stop annoying me. Because you can see what's going on in their cells when they're behaving this way, and it's unnecessary. You can see it's not even really them.
Yeah.
It's like a character
Yeah.
that just comes out of them. You just go, what? 1 minute we're talking this way, and now you're behaving like this. What's going on? And generally, a narcissist doesn't like it when you're in that high vibration, because they can feel you. You're one of those smiley ones. They're going to get annoyed with you.
Yeah.
Because you're wrecking the whole system.
Right. And I also don't follow what people want me to do. I'm not one of those people. I really don't care what people think about me.
Can
And
you
that
please
really
tell the
bothers a
story? So
Which one?
this story starts with I'm going to start the story and then you have to finish it because it's so cute. Mila says to me, you know, I put a Christmas tree up. I ordered a Christmas tree. And I went, and she said, you know, I'm in this. I said, so you're in this small town and a lady arrives with her daughter who's a complete foreigner, right? Who no one knows anything about. So you're the weirdo of the town
Yep.
who smiles a lot.
The Yankee.
The Yankee arrives, right? And they're very curious about you. And the delivery man says you ordered a Christmas tree. And says to you, what are you ordering a Christmas tree for? It's so cute, right? So they're going, so then Mila says, and I put it up. And this has been very symbolic for our family because when Jack left, we stopped putting Christmas trees up. We felt a different energy towards the whole Christmas thing, not only just because of Jack, but the representation of cutting a tree down and all this sort of stuff, especially because it's a juvenile pine, right? Anyway, so Mila goes, and I put it up. So you put it up before this week. It's been up for 2 weeks or?
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks now.
So, yeah. So everyone is driving past Mila's place really slightly going, now she has a Christmas tree up. You're not supposed to do that.
And they've told me that too. You know, you're supposed to wait till, and it's like, well, I make my own rules. Why? Why is that important to you? Why is it important? And it really is contrary to how things are done, you know, and the reason that it's just a series of, that's how my life has always been, Elsa. It just, okay, this is what's happening now. Okay, we're doing this. You know, I just kind of go with the flow. And what had occurred was, you know, we came here without anything. And we typically would use, you know, an artificial tree. You know, it's just one of those things. And since we moved out of the forest anyway, and they're usually like $140, but right now they're $25. So I was like, why wouldn't I get it now instead of later? You know, and the delivery guy too is so funny because it wasn't packaged; it was in the box so you could see it was a Christmas tree. He was really, it's like he acted like he didn't want to hand it to me. He's like,
it's too early.
Yeah. And so I have
well, this is holidays are a big, see, when I was growing up, Halloween wasn't a thing here in Australia, but over the last few decades, they've built it up. Who's built it up, right? Like, so it's been created. But when I was a child here in Australia, no one did trick-or-treating. But now all the supermarkets have it and it's been marketed. Really? Mark ET? Are you kidding me? Here we go, right? So they've marketed that you have to have Thanksgiving and Halloween first before you put the Christmas tree up. Mila's doing it all wrong. You
Yeah.
don't do it like this. Who are you? So you're creating, through this breaking of the system, you are creating a shudder in your town.
Yep.
This shudder is irritating. Who's it irritating? Is it irritating the smiling ones? No.
No.
It's irritating the ones who have too many of those guys in them.
Yeah.
So Mila puts up her Christmas tree. I said to Richard about this, and he goes, "That's so cool." He said, "Has she done a car count?" I said, "No." Because of all the cars coming. You know how they put those things on the road where you can test how many cars are coming through?
Oh, right.
Like the council do it, or the government, to test which roads are getting used the most. And they're going, this road's had increased traffic.
It has. You can tell there's so much more traffic right now.
And I said to Mila, "What do you smile? Do you wave at them?" And she said no, because it became like I was the scarecrow.
Yeah.
Now you don't even bother because there's too many going past.
Yeah. And they're always honking and waving.
But this creates a shudder.
Mhm.
Now, if you are one of ones in power running the puppeteers, you are not going to expect this to happen through a Christmas tree that someone puts up in their home.
Right.
So see how the shudders and the change and the opportunity to be different is coming through acts of play.
Yeah.
And you weren't even having an intention behind it except I like it.
Yeah.
And this is how we move forward in the new way.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to have this huge agenda. I just like the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I like the sparkly lights on it. And I loved how you said, and then I'm going to decorate with some Halloween stuff as well. That'll really throw 'em.
We did too.
But that's so what you're doing is you're saying, I appreciate everything up until this point, and this is what we're going to do. I'm actually looking at somehow to put a Christmas. I'm actually thinking of putting 2 little Christmas trees in, because that is then wrecking that, like, because then now there's 2. So
Yeah.
that's not how you do it. But in celebration of, okay, that was then.
Mm-hmm.
This is now, and I celebrate tree. To be tree, to be the pine, is pi, P-H-I-P-I. P-H-I is power and potency of will. To be in a pi state, you have to be in an equal state. You have to be even. Heaven, belly of Eve. He in Eve. Heaven is 7. It's pH inside us. It's I think it's 1 to 14. 7 is pi. When you are here, you are in the power and potency of the true will of you. And this has everything to do with how we digest and how we become true livers.
Right.
And the thing about this was that is going to get a little sad, but I re-listened to my talk last time with Mila, which was a very brave show that she did after her mother has passed on. I heard Mila in the interview say, "Do you know how she went?" And I said, "No," in this interview. You can go back and listen. And she said it was the hospital. They changed her medication. It was the hospital. As soon as she said that, we had it happen here. And I don't know what happened, Mila, in the last time from now to this time now, but I feel her helping guide me through these moments of opportunity to heal that maybe she didn't have. And I just want to say, I heard her say words like, I can do more great now in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
I can assist Mila more now in this realm. And I feel like she's just right there with you. This Odin, the daughters of Odin are working it, and the daughters of Odin are they're Odin's tree, wooden Odin.
Right.
It's the wooden dragon this year. Like
Yes.
this
Yeah.
tree, the tree is so huge. It's the tree is green, right? So the tree is blue and gold.
Right. Christ consciousness in voice.
Yeah.
Those are the colors meanings.
Yeah. But you have to want to be. So to be the blue and the gold is that you have to will it as the tree wills to grow, as the birds will to sing. And so this is the reason they use tree, grass, weeds, herbs. What is the word wedding? Weeding. It's the same word.
Right.
It's the blue and it's the same origin. It's a marriage of the will. So it's a marriage of spirit and a marriage of us acting it. The spirit is the essence of us, and then we will it in, or we pray it in, or we visualize it in. It's
Wow.
so cool.
That is really, really cool.
It's the beginning of us.
Yeah. And the trees were the beginning of us. If you cycled all the way back again, the trees were the beginning of us in the start. I mean, we know that the trees were ginormous just a little while ago, and we taught the trees to forget how to grow, and just like it was easy for others to do to us,
Yeah.
we're now remembering how again.
So we were sitting up by the pine trees, and the family member that's not well, I went for a walk early because they were, then just it's been very emotional, and they went for a walk, and they came back and they sat out in the sun, the morning sunrise. This is yesterday morning. Anyway, then one of the kids had to leave, so we go up in the car because it's a dangerous road where we live on, and we help the kids drive out of our driveway. Anyway, as we were walking back, we sat on the other side of a branch that had fallen down from the pine trees above. This is a great sign when you see the pine tree has dropped a limb. It's let go. And this person I was sitting with, they said, it's funny because I sat on the other side of this. And I said, and then as the day played out yesterday, they got to see both sides of the letting go.
Wow.
I'm explaining this because our messages, and I know this happens for you, Mila, too, is that the messages, we're not getting off social media. We're getting it from the acts that we do in our day-to-day with the delivery guy, with the tree, with Brother Cricket. Like, these is where the messages are coming. They're coming from.
Yeah.
They're coming from. They're not coming from being informed. From and inform are the different sides. And the middle word is or, which is your tool, which is your gift, which is your paddle, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're listening to information, someone's telling you
Right.
so that they can program you and steer you a certain way. If you're getting your messages from,
Mm-hmm.
you're like what Mila said, I don't listen to anyone, I just go with the flow of the day.
Yeah.
Because you trust the universe.
Yeah.
You trust Mila.
Yeah.
It's cool, right?
And it's easier. It's so much easier. Like at first it's not. At first it takes a lot of work, because we've been conditioned. We taught ourselves to follow this conditioning, and it has a lot to do with um, it's not really control. It's the illusion of control that we've been taught to believe this is control. And when you release that, I released it because I didn't have a choice. Like a lot of things happened, where all of a sudden I just had no control over anything. This goes back to 2020 when, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, cool, we're having a lockdown. I'm perfect. I'm in the middle of the mountains. I got everything I need. I can live out here by myself forever and we'll be great. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, now you don't have land. Now you're homeless with a 5-year-old. And so I was put in a position where I had no control, and it taught me to not believe in control. After that, every year I've gotten better at not trying to control things. And the more easy everything becomes, then you realize as things pop up randomly, coincidences, those are actually spirits saying, why don't you go do that? Okay, I'm gonna go do this now, and then I'll go do that thing now. We'll just like bumble along, and it's fun. I don't have to be concerned, And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting and talking with Elsa, and she's like, "Do you see what you did?" And no, I was just following what Spirit said to do, guided me to do, and it was fun. I had a blast the entire time, and then she sees all this code, and it helps a bunch of people. And all I'm doing is just like, let's go have fun over here now. Hey, look, there's some sand. Let's build a castle. And then it turns out the code that we left in the sand ignites this person and that person, and it teaches that person this thing. And that person who learned that thing goes over here and helps a whole village of people. And I built a sand castle.
So you build a sandcastle and then it has a snowball effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that snowball effect doesn't go all around the world, right? Like a whale message, and comes back and someone assists you on the next day that you're doing something. You don't know there's 6 degrees of separation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Think of those words. Really? 6 degrees of separation. So now we go back to yin and yang.
Right.
So you have yin and yang, and then you have 7 in the middle. So you have 6, you go up to 6, and then you go up to 6 on the other side. It's balance. It's Horus. It's Taurus. It's seeing level. It's being able to flip the ship this way and flip the ship this way. It's about the stars and the stars in the sea, like how you said.
Yeah.
Remember you said this? These
No.
words that you said,
Oh, yeah.
it's like the stars are in the, it's like this, you said,
Yeah.
and these words have assisted me through my day today. So, if I get too much up in my head, I come back. So, so Mila says, by the way, did you know there's this huge comet coming past? So I checked the dates, which is in 7 days from today. There's no coincidence, Mila and I meeting today. I look on my calendar and it's a W. And then I start seeing W's and M's all through my calendar on these dates with the full moon, the A3 comet, and the equinox. And I went, okay, so you just want me to talk to Mila, right? So This is why we chose this date today, to give us 7 days until the peak of the comet. This comet is A3. Are you hearing these words? A tree. It's a tree. So last year we had the devil. This is the other comet you brought up. It's
Yep.
it's E3. It's about the threes. It's 3. It's not. It's E and 3 are the same thing. E3 tree. They even sound the same.
Yep.
A3 is E to compass. E to compass. A is us. A is A. Like when you stand, you look like an A.
Yeah.
Guess where the line is?
At your root.
So we're A's with Horus, like heaven in us. So Mila sends me a picture because I asked because I do ask people to send me pictures or maps or where they live and things because I find it interesting with the conversation we have. So I said to Mila, please send me a picture of your Christmas tree. And, I don't know how much Mila wants to share, but she sent me the Christmas tree and little Maddie has drawn alien beings all down the side. And I start going, oh, here we go. And I start reading the image she sends me, and through the pine tree, so it's not a real pine tree, but it doesn't matter, it's the energy of the tree. It's sending beams of light down, which is a pine tree is how we see blue.
Right.
Because to be blue or see blue, it's a trick. It's a reflection of light, and it works up like a pine tree.
Yep. Yep.
Her picture has a forest on one side in the wall showing grounding, and then it has the fairy lights on the tree, and the lights are all going to the ground. I'm going, whoa, it's about aligning the stars in us. It's light to light. It's that we went from E3 and now we're A3, A tree, power and potency of will. And even the numbers of this date add up to 3.
And it's 3:00 right now. Just barely. I just saw it.
So when this comet is coming past, this comet is one of the brightest comets coming past of our lifetime. They call it the blue one. They gave it, I think Mila said it was found somewhere purple, which is love,
It's called Purple Mountain.
Oh,
Where they
so
located it. Purple Mountain, and also, sorry, go ahead.
Purple Peak.
Yeah.
Wow.
The other observatory is called Atlas, though the Atlas is the modern day word for Atlantis. And so if you translate it without the buffering or the stuff at the middleman, the name of this comet is Purple Mountain Atlantis. And if you add to this one more point, it makes it even more wow, is that this comet has a 26,000 year orbit. That's a galactic year, and also 26,000 years. It works out to be more like 25,800 and some odd years. It's, is the same time as the fall of Atlantis. Which leads to another point. Can I bring up the one in October real quick?
Yeah, just because just at last. So I had that song playing over and over and over. You know that song, At Last? I can't sing, but it's an old song. When you listen to the words, did they channel those words for now? At last. It's at last. It's they knew this time was the last at last. Now we change to the new. It's not. It is an ending for some, the ones within, but we're into the new now.
Right.
Because we're driving our own ships. We're getting
We
there
are?
anyway. Okay, now come on, you got to tell me your stuff. Oh.
I just saw it pop up 303 when you were talking. And I had to like say that.
3-3.
Yeah, dude, there's so much about this that this is also the last one. You said at last. That's why I kind of went away for a second. At last, because this is the third of the 3 galactic years of ascension. At the end of each one of these galactic years, there's been the opportunity for a global ascension occurrence to happen on this planet. And this is the last of the last one. And in this third last one, we find that we're in a place where almost everybody's in the awakening. Even if they're defiantly asleep, they're awake. You know? What's more is then here comes another really profound thing on the third supermoon of the 4 supermoons in a row. This is the same day that Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus are doing a squaring. And this particular alignment hasn't happened in the heavens since when Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD. 79 is a very important number for me. And so whenever I see 79 pop up, it's like, oh, pay attention. Oh, go ahead, Elsa. Your audio's off.
You keep going. Sorry.
Okay. One more point too is that so for us, at least on this side of the hemisphere, I don't know what it's like in the southern hemisphere. It's a little different, but over here on the 10th through the 12th is the peakest of the peaks of this comet. It's going to be a magnitude of 3, which is the brightest illumination in the sky apart from the moon, of course. It'll be the brightest star in the sky. And we just accepted a brand new moon. We're having this moon for 3 months. We have a new moon. It's a little guy, and it's going to be entering our orbit about the same time as this comet becomes so illuminated. So you'll be able to see it at night without binoculars or anything. It's getting brighter than any star in the sky. So, go ahead.
So the full moon that we just had, the peak of it was an eclipse moon as well. Mm-hmm. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is, I know you've had this, the sequence thing happening. It hasn't been happening for me, but it's been happening for other family members here. But also a lot of people in sessions are having this sequence of numbers. The sequence is sequest, which is to see and follow. They're saying see and follow. And it's not to see and follow anybody else. It's to see and follow the versions that you visualize. This is you follow your prayer. You follow the visions. You follow that good feeling. You follow the vision of putting up a Christmas tree. You follow the vision of buying pink nail polish randomly. Or you follow the vision of I had to go to this certain park to see these squirrels. And I had this calling to go there. You're following you.
Yeah.
Who are you following? It's you. You is E-W-E. It's sheep. all week, we've had sheep. So the sheep are about to, very close to having their little lammies, and they come closer to. They put. I think the farmer next door puts them closer to our paddock, so our dog's on one side and his dog on the other, protect them from all the wild dogs. Anyway, I said to Richard, I've got my new veggie garden there. Maybe we should put up a solar light that comes on automatically.
Mhm.
Oh my God, this whole week, oh, the moths come down, which make the light go off. So then all the sheep come running down to the light to see what's going on. So all the ewes come down to the light, and then all our dogs start barking. So we're up like 2 or 3 times. And what was funny is that this is how I understand the comet is from the sheep in the paddock. That's how I'm just trying to explain it to everyone. It's not social media and being on the internet. You don't need to do this. It will just come to you.
Yeah.
Like how Mila says to me, by the way, her by the ways have changed not only my life, but many others. So when Mila says, by the way, my ears prick up big time because I go, hang on, here we go. It's like a transmission. It's like something off, I imagine, Star Trek. She said the code, by the way.
All stand by.
Hold on. Okay. I can read you. And go. And so it's those little fleeting messages, those little fleeting, is the true creator because it hasn't got all the goop on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pure light language that she's speaking to us.
Yeah.
And this is what you see in Maddie. This is what I see in our children. This is what I see in, the fly who's talking to me all the time. This is what I see. I see the pure light of their message, and that feels better than what I've heard in the news.
Yeah.
So I can't trust that anymore. I'm tired of it, and it feels grey and it feels icky. But the ewes coming down in the paddock, and I'll come and I'll look at the moth, that's great. I mean, I'm up and I'm tired and I walk into a wall and going, what's going on? But that to me is a better feeling than hearing another person kill someone somewhere or...
Right. You don't even know if those things are even true. I'm not saying that taking anything away from anybody who has tragedy in their life. It's just simply that I do know that some of the things at least are exaggerated to try to draw us toward a lower frequency. I asked a question from Spirit a little while ago, and they ended up telling me about the news. My question wasn't about the news. It was about The Simpsons. Because you hear so many of these examples of people showing where The Simpsons had done an episode at some point, and then that story that they tell eventually came true, down to the letter in some cases. And I said, are they really telling the future? I was just curious, how when you got the audience, you asked the random questions, and they ended up showing me that the same thing is done with the nightly news. It's group manifestation. If you get enough people agreeing to a story, then it does happen. That it's not foretold in that it's told before it occurs because it was already going to. It's being foretold because it's telling people what to manifest.
Yeah, it's remote viewing. It's remote viewing a prayer and putting a vision in another. It's me idea. It's very clever. Also, being in the media and being around newsreaders in Australia and celebrities and things, you see how they market them. Because a lot of the celebrities and newsreaders, you think that what you see on TV is their personality. Whoa, they're so different in real life. Also, how they turn up first thing in the morning looks very different. So they're groomed. This word groomed is, at the moment, doesn't have a good feeling. Grooming to me was a big deal. your deportment, how you presented. But at the moment, grooming feels like it has a lot of sticky stuff on it at the moment. So you have to look at what is being presented to you. And this information that we're talking about now is coming from up, out, and within us. It's not coming from a place of grooming.
Right.
It's very different. And I know when I watch any links or things that people send me, if it's too, I don't know, too...
Fear porn.
Well, I see commercials on TV, and I said to Richard, I said the footage and everything is so perfect, it's irritating.
Yeah.
It's lost human.
Yeah.
And maybe that's AI, I don't know, like what it is. It doesn't, I'm not even interested, but it's lost its sense.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. And it's off-putting. It really is. It's like, I mean, they said it in the Matrix. Remember, Agent Smith was saying that they had created a utopia for everyone to exist within, and everyone rejected the utopia. It was too perfect. That we needed.
Yeah.
We can't stand perfection because perfection isn't real. Perfection in the way that you use the definition in a dictionary, rather. Everyone's version of perfect is different. It's unique to them. It's balance is what we're talking about. We're looking for balance, which is funny because my given name initials is PH. But there's this balance, this requiring need for balance. Sometimes balance requires imperfection, something to be off in order it to be balanced.
Yeah. So this is, again, comes back to you put up a Christmas tree. So you've offed all of them. Sounds like I'm swearing, sorry. You've offed all of them. So they're all going. And so then someone drives past, and I would be that person that drives past. She's put her Christmas tree up. I like a Christmas tree. Can't we put our Christmas tree up early? So then you start inspiration. And this is where, when others ask me about disclosure, when is disclosure? Disclosure is you inspiring another. Yeah. And I cannot inspire someone by telling them how to be.
Yeah.
But I can inspire them by being better, which is just me improving on me. Because, I can't be who I was a year ago or the year before, or I even look back at old photos and go, who is that?
Yeah. No, you mean.
What's that person? Yeah. You said news. News is spinning ewes or eternal ewes. Again, it comes back to because you know how they have called us sheep, and cattle and all this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm elevating the sheep now. The sheep is the she, the ba, ta. It's the same. It's actually sheep isn't sheep is ta. Ta is plasma intelligence from the comets. Comes back to the A3 again. A3 is coming in closer because we are all vibrating better.
Right.
We are better.
Right.
We are mata. We are water. It's not water, it's mata. We are matas. Ma is the female within us, all of us. It's not a male and female. This was the separation that they created in the Bible.
Right. Yeah. That was just another attempt at separation. Disconnection.
Yeah. So if you make them separate, they're all arguing, right? So then they're distracted, and then they won't notice us munching on us inside.
Right.
Yeah. So you can keep eating, Because they're arguing. They're fine.
Right.
They're going to be arguing for another 100 years. Don't worry about them.
And that's what happened recently, is that it was such a well-oiled, self-perpetuating machine that the puppeteers left. And
oh, yeah, they left all right.
now we're like realizing that we've been self-perpetuating our own imprisonment, our own enslavement. And well, it's time to stop. Like your example of the that really cool, the solar powered light. The solar powered light, that's you. That's all of us, right? We're the lighthouses glowing out. We are drawing in the yous. We're drawing in the meanness, the you-ness, and then of course then there's that innate part of us that we don't know how to use yet, that's in our body, that's like this dog, where it's like this really excitable and masculine, we would call it masculine usually, but I don't think that's really what it is, where we just get really excitable about anything that changes. And if it's change, then there's fear. Oh no, change. And that story you told is so perfect for what we're doing right now, all of us. And then the light diminishes because we're drawing in all the shadows that need to be seen, the moths in the night. They need to be seen, and they're coming to the light that you are, as the lighthouse. I remember. That's why we call our Telegram group what we do, is because the plate bearers, the plates of light, we create the tower of light that draws in balance, that draws in frequency and immortality, basically, in ways that we'll look at what immortality is. Our diminishing physical form is a side effect of the toxins that we allow ourselves to ingest, and the belief in this spell casting of the doctor or the medical systems. I was told that in 2007 I had weeks to live. That was 2007. I know dozens and dozens of us that have not agreed to what the doctor said and then lived on. And not only lived on, but lived on long, healthy, balanced lives. I went on for a minute.
Sorry, I had to write 100 things down because she did it to me again. So use is use. Use is use. It's the same word, use and use.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Right.
So Mila should not be here, but she is. That's impossible. But through their system, so now she's still running. She's still walking. She's still visualizing. But now you're helping everyone. Can you see maybe they didn't want you around? Because you might know, you might be one of them. Look at her, she's smiling so much. She's got to have some illness. Give her an illness.
There's something wrong.
There's got to be she's smiling way too much. And, this happened with me. I had a brain tumour. It wasn't a brain tumour, it was from injections.
Right.
My body knew not to have that. And I had to go against my whole family.
Right.
Because they said I was being irresponsible because I was having CAT scans and all this. Because I said, there's nothing wrong with me.
Right.
You have to look at what the coincidences of how this brain tumour happened. It was as soon as I had injections.
Yep.
They're not aneurysms. They're my body saying no. My body knows. Your body knows too. Like you said, we're lighthouses. We are solar. And now we come out, and through play and through Mila's smile, I'm attracted to Mila, and I enjoy being in her company. Even Richard said, I didn't feel right coming into doing a live this morning because of what our family's been going through this week. I felt like maybe it might be disrespectful or something. And Richard's like, no, you have to go talk to Mila. It's important. Our family feel it too. They know that we have to. Well, the other thing is, he said she went on after her mother. You know, you step up and be you and share, because it's important that others see us in our times of dealing with things as well.
Yeah.
And how we work our way through it. And it is still true. It still happens to us. We're not void of everything.
Right. Yeah. Wow, you said a lot. And that's true. You actually brought something up that I didn't even. I had I was in the I was a behavioralist. That was what I did for a living. I was a behavioralist, and they started to make it so we had to take injections, and that was when I got sick. It was I can't oh gosh, I can't think of the name of the injection right now, but it was for oh well, I can't remember what it's called right now. Anyway, all of a sudden now I never got vaccinated. I wasn't, in the public school system, so that requirement wasn't part of something in my life. But then all of a sudden I was, and then, so I had to get this injection. And not long after that, all of a sudden they decided I had systemic scleroderma, and my organs started systematically shutting down one at a time. They were taking turns shutting down. And the lifespan of that typically happens over 10 years. And they're like, oh, it must have been happening for 10 years because you're progressed to the end, And so anyway, the point we're trying to make here too is something that Elsa had said a while back. You compared it to you getting a shaman or a doctor of the Aboriginal people, whatever you would call a doctor, medicine man, and tell the Aboriginal man, tell him that he has 3 days to live, and tell a businessman the same thing. The businessman will just like, well, this crazy cuckoo guy here doesn't know what he's talking about. The Aboriginal man will fall dead within a few short days. Reverse the story. Now take an American doctor and do the same thing. The Aboriginal man will laugh and move on and live a happy, long life, but the businessman will fall dead when you're told that you're dying by someone you believe in. I'm not telling you this isn't medical advice. I'm not telling you that all doctors are bad. In fact, I think that most doctors really do have the desire to help. They're just been misguided. And some of them know what they're doing. Some of them really do know what they're doing, and are choosing to bring in holistic healing. They're choosing to bring in, homeopathic solutions and things like that. However, from my personal experience, the doctors that I've interacted with have been this patriarchal, and I'm not saying man, I'm saying patriarchal, societal kind of figure where it's an authoritarian individual, that what they say is true. And if you question what they say, then you're insane. And there's actually been times in my life where I've refused particular medications. It wasn't like a life or death type of thing either. It was just, wow, I've got this weird thing going on. Well, we don't know what it is, but take this medication. And I would, back then, this is earlier in my life when things weren't as easy to do now as they are now. I was told, well, because I did back then say, no, I'm not going to take that. I've learned to say thank you and just not fill the prescription. But back then I would say, no, I'm not going to do that. One time they pulled a pink slip on me. What that means is I didn't care about my life, and therefore I was suicidal. And so they committed me into an insane asylum for 72 hours where they can do that. And then they forcibly administered this medication that they didn't even know if it was really going to help. These things do happen. And I bet there's people who are watching now who have had something similar occur. You know?
Well, this is history. Most of the people who were committed were actually awakened souls.
Right.
And so, you know, we were married at an asylum, an old asylum hospital. A lot of there's been great healing works we've done, as well as many around the world, on these homes. Yeah, it's quite a big. That's a big topic. I won't even go into that one, but I agree. So hospice is ghost guest, and then you have pit tell. So pit tell is collect all the information and don't let it out. Because if you understand birth and death, then a lot of the information that we have been told is incorrect or probably won't work for you. What comes interesting back is so now I'm crossing over this with astrology and the solar flares, is the geomagnetic storm on the full moon eclipse that we had at the same time, mind you, which is when we had a bit of a chaotic moment here in our family. It was a HP 68333 83. 8 is the Sphinx again. It's the gates of us. It's heaven. It's infinity. It's eternal beings. It's Mila's background. It's telling us in the times. It's telling us in the codes. It's telling us in the names of the comet. So whoever's doing it is up there going, do you think they got it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to have to send another comet or something. Do a flare. No, do the flare bigger, because then we make it this number. See if you can make it that number. Did someone get it? And then they probably can see them. They're probably really bored up there, you know. I can imagine them on their iPhone sort of thing, bored. They're scrolling, and then they go, hang on, there's some people live streaming. What are they saying? They're talking about us. They're like, yay, they're finally getting it. We're getting it. We are target. We are getting it. We're getting our senses. Target.
Yeah.
Sense get. We're getting our senses. We're coming back to the heaven within us. There is no heaven to go to. We are it. The gates are within us. You might have to asphyxiate them a bit, but they're within us. And we're doing it, and we're doing it, and we're doing it. And we have, since I have known Mila, we have seen huge shifts in people that we do sessions with, and people in the Telegram, people on your audiences. You know, I know Mila. I don't even have to hear Mila tell me of the progress that she's had with people and we've seen in people. And it's not us doing it. They're doing it through their will.
Yeah. Because you have to decide for yourself.
Yeah. It's not us, Mila and I, doing it, or Dr. Joe, or any. We just say, try the Christmas tree.
Right. I saw someone else pop up say, hey, I think I'm going to do that.
Well, it's a thing. And this is what I said. Maybe we start a tree thing, but with a new spin on it. Bob drew a Christmas tree, and in the interview, I don't know if it's already up yet or it's one of the new ones, I said to him, this was back last year, it's a Christmas tree with a new ring to it. And I didn't realize then It's always Bob, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's always Bob. Bob is 13013.
Uh,
It comes back to Horus. It comes back to the peaks. It comes back to Mu.
mhm.
Bob has it in his name. He has 4, 4, and a spin in the middle. Can you see
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's symbols.
And everything's always about Bob.
It's always about Bob. Anyway, so Bob draws this drawing of a Christmas tree with a new ring to it, and his drawing is prophesizing we this this meeting of Mila and I, because we kept going, it's a tree thing. It's a thing. Let's make it a thing. So
It is.
when you put up a Christmas tree, it hasn't it yes, we appreciate all the Christmases prior because they were experiences, but now I'm putting up a Christmas tree because of the power and potency, the heaven within all of us. So when I put up this tree this year, or trees, it's with the prayer or intention or the vision of a new heaven within us all, us seeing it.
In play and fun.
Yeah, with maybe a pumpkin on top.
Yeah. I got a illuminated jack-o'-lantern tree topper coming in the mail, actually.
Is it because the tree's going to be like got a bit of a
I
sway on it?
know,
I'm going to have to strap the tree.
right? Bolted to the wall.
But
Yeah. Go ahead.
it's a thing. So this is it's a thing, and it's this is how things are created is through things.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's so much fun being with you. It really is.
Yeah, me too. I always look forward to talk. You were talking at 333, by the way.
Oh, well, this is the index. Index. This is the in. So index is you see it in Michelangelo's index. So see, it's pointing. The soul of layers are pointing. They're going follow the from. Follow your sequence. The
Right.
sequest of us. And look, you know, even if this only makes me smile, this us speaking together, I was crying yesterday, Mila. My brain was like, it's just, sometimes it's just too much. I've got all this and then I've got all that, and I just go, I was crying for a second, and I had to go, and I went and hid in the room so that no one else could. I just even had to cry alone. And then I went, you know what? I've got this. I had to release it and then collect myself, come back out, and I go, I've got this. We can work our way through. We've worked through all that. I can do this.
You can. You got
Yeah.
this.
And because I stayed in that, we've had better outcomes today.
Hmm. We just changed the world.
Because it's a tree thing.
That's a
You,
tree thing.
well, a tree is it comes back to herb, weed, wedding, marry, grass. But the actual word is ta-yu.
Hmm.
Ta-yu, like you said, it was before ta-yu. So now ta-yu is just us using it now. We got to just use everything that's right near us right now. Like you said, keep it in your area first. Then it can push out.
Yeah. It's from within and then without. Without becomes once you allow yourself to be within. This target, the bullseye, the target, that's also the rings of a tree. That's also the rings of a tree. Like Jeanette said, target of the bullseye. You know, and the bullseye is this Taurus. You know, and there's a lot. about the toroidal field, the personal toroidal field, by the way, that it's a spiritual technology. Spirit calls it a spiritual technology. It's a spiritual technology that people don't typically utilize any longer. We've not learned, we've we just stopped teaching each other how to do this. And it's very, very simple. You're breathing in the light of God. It goes through your diamond chakra. It prisms 144 times, arcs around you in all directions, comes back up through your root and all through all of your chakras, goes back up until it meets your diamond chakra again. And then they're all rings, 144 hues of rings all the way around you. Now you have this, it looks like this, only it's a lot more all the way around you. And it cycles and it cycles. And as it cycles, it strengthens your auric field. And then the things that used to cause disruption, used to call illness, dis-ease, no longer does. It's like it sorts it, it puts it back on the shelf where it goes, and
There is no such thing as dis-ease. You create dis-ease when you, and I don't know, I'm going to say it out loud. All diseases are created. You've traced them all back. It's to a parasite or virus.
Yep.
Every single one of them. Whether they're saying it, I'm starting to see some major, big medical people come on, start talking about this stuff. You know why? Because they're going, hang on, we better step our game up or we're going to lose everything that we've worked for, because they're not following suit. Because the mass consciousness is going, you know what? You've taken away our children. You've taken away our husbands. You've taken away me being a female. You've given me menopause. You've done this, you've done that. You've injured our animals. You're injuring the planet. Enough is enough. There's got to be a better way of doing this. And they're searching. They're becoming seekers of themselves, seekers. And they're going, you know what? I'm going to listen to these people because they make me smile. You don't make me smile anymore.
right.
Yeah. I need to smile.
My toys, I'm going home.
I've had enough of, and that's where I was yesterday. I have had enough of tears. Tears are okay for a minute to release, and then that's it. You cannot cry forever.
Right.
It's too hard. It is. It's too hard. It's not fun.
It's not worth it. And it's contrary to what our body's designed to do. You can tell. You can feel that how off alignment you are. And that's something else to point out. We've talked about some really cool stuff. It's like, wow, this doesn't happen except for every 26,000 years kind of stuff. And this isn't to say, oh no, it's scary. It's good. This is good. This is the sign of the times that we're in, that you are being given back your power. But it does require that you reach out and take it. It requires some effort on your part, just to allow yourself to look at things a little bit more in a different way. You'll find that everything that you need is right in front of you, and always is. All the information. That's why what these conversations with Elsa is called Decoding the Unhidden. It's not hidden. It's hidden in plain sight. It's right in front of us. It's in our very DNA. It's in the everything that we do in our lives. It's amazing how much of sci-fi movies from the 80s and so on is really real. Those things are really occurring, and anyway, it's all in front of us. And you are powerful. You are capable. It's just about allowing yourself to do it. And I have found the same thing that you said, Elsa, is that if I do it, if I'm in a place of disharmony, of sadness, yeah, it's so good to cry. It's so healing. And yeah, please cry whenever you feel the need to do it. Let it out and then go on to do the next thing. I learned this from watching the babies. The babies, what they'll do is they'll fall and scrape their knee and cry with their whole heart. The freaking neighborhood knows something went down. They cry with their lungs you don't expect them to be that loud. They're just little lungs. But then they're done. They stand up, they wipe their tears, and they go, skipping back down the path again. They've taught me this, and it's funny I said tea because that's what I was going to say next. Is they've taught me that if I don't dump the coffee out of my coffee cup, then I will never know what tea really tastes like, because it'll always be, all my tea will be flavored by yesterday's coffee. So to feel it, to feel the emotion completely when it comes out. So then the next moment can be felt, can be enjoyed, and it's not diluted. It's not covered with yesterday's sorrows and tomorrow's dreams. It's today, it's now, this moment. And you don't have to lose the moments that you're in anymore. And then in those places, you can be in play. And as we're in play, then everything becomes easy. Everything. Like putting up these Christmas trees. The reason I put it up was the look on the delivery man's face when he handed it to me. The defiance in me was triggered, but also the playfulness of, I like the tree. I'm going to put it up now, actually. And no, you can't tell me what to do. That's why narcissists don't like me. They don't last in my bubble very long because I just won't do what they say.
They just keep driving round the block. just drive again. She couldn't have it still up. Like,
now what you got in that tree?
Oh, she's put up a pumpkin.
I got these autumn leaf lights just now. And they're like, they light up these auburn lights that have autumn leaves connected to them.
It's like look, you'd think she's going to have enough windows to put all this stuff. But it's a tree thing, and it's a thing. And I mean, the other, you said use won't leave me alone now. Use is arc sees. So use sees is arc sees. So they're asking us to be use. So you want to call us a sheep? That's fine. I'm spinning it this way. So this is how Mama's going to spin it, because she loves the children, right? And, I'm using it as a metaphor. Anyway, so you sees is arc sees. So to arc sees is to be the bridge of you. So be the witness and the act, the see act of us. So spirit. And this is the other one I said to the kids this week is, how you have the good and the bad, and you always have this little demon and an angel on your shoulders, and I feel like I've got like hundreds of them on my shoulders, because I always thought it was a Gemini thing, but now I know it's obviously some others ones talking. But
Right.
bad and good is B-A-D, so B after death, which is spirit. And good is God.
Right.
So God is to act one, and spirit. So now when I visualize these two having their Gemini arguing on their shoulders, I'm like, you guys, come on. So then they have to be a target, which is Odin's crows. So it's the circle. It's the two homs. It's the circle and the dot. These are the two crows of Odin.
Right.
Odin helped me understand stuff, because Odin was a by the way.
Yeah, it was.
And then Odin becomes a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now pi has become a thing. This house that we've shifted to, so now we're going back just after the floods. I said to the kids, I said, look, we don't have a lot of money at the moment. This is 2 years ago. What can we do? We have to find a new home. And I said, let's do something completely opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. And let's go and collect pine cones from the bus stop house. And we'll take all these pine cones and put them in areas that don't have trees. And everyone was like, why? And I said, because we're giving a gift of the pine trees of forest for rest, for
I love that.
for rest. And I just went, let's go plant seeds. They're not. So we're acknowledging earth. We're acknowledging the gift from the pine trees. They're just on the ground. No one's. They don't need any more pine cones. So let's go and share them somewhere else that they wouldn't be. We shifted to a house full of pine trees.
Ha! Of course it did.
So
That's
when
awesome.
I say this is a tree thing, and the simple act of the courier questioning Mila about, you can't put this up now.
Right.
It's not time. You know what? It isn't time.
Yeah.
It's what it is now.
Yeah.
Because it's fun, and I'm creating fun. I'm not creating a program. And so
Right.
it is a tree thing. And the tree helped me here. The tree helped me yesterday. Understanding that we got two versions. We had Mila's mum on the last meeting, and then we had the other version of the ghost guest, the spirit assisting me in the same scenario as Mila's mum and having a different outcome on the other side of the fallen limb. But
Yeah.
the fallen limb had to be grounded to see both sides. So this becomes, again, the arc. I know it sounds like I'm speaking in riddles. I'm not. It's actually a great story.
Yeah.
Because we all think that, when we pass on, that it's all gone. And it's not. This is, since the day Mila said her mother passed, I have felt an overwhelming fullness. And this is what we all do to others. We become this light in all of us. And it's eternal. Whether you see them walking around next to you or not, it doesn't matter. It's so cool, Mila. It's made me see things so differently this week. And, you think you got it all sorted. Then you go left field again.
Yeah.
It's like, it has to be this, like you said, it has to be this emotional, it has to be this, to make it great. Because if it was this perfect world, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't. Harmony needs uniqueness to dance in the moonlight, like Dr. Joe says here. There's something that just keeps coming in. I gotta say it. So going along with Odin, Woden, um, he has the ravens or the crows, depending on what you're. How did you know that the both the raven and the crow, we see them as like this black with a blue hue. Sometimes there's like a redness to it, but this is black. Did you know that most other beings on this planet see it as a rainbow bird? That's why our eyes look at it and just like we look at it with like there's something different about its color. Like it doesn't, wow, look how black it is. What is it that I'm looking at? Like if you think about when you look at these birds, there's always this, wow, what is it I'm seeing? Yeah, we are the only ones who see it as this color, void of color, when it's actually void of color, when it's actually all of the color. Isn't that fascinating?
Well, this is so a lot of black feathers have the iridescence, and this is where we come into, which I know it's going to be a thing. Maddie prophesized, oh, you're getting a new cone.
Yep.
And it's already happening in many, you're going to have a new cone to see differently with. So these colours will become more and more dynamic because your will sees it.
Right.
And so the more will that happens, and awakens, the more we all will lift these cones, and then it will also bring in more intelligence closer to Earth. Yeah, I'm starting to I'm starting to understand that, how it works, the solar flares and the comets. But does Maddie know about all the comments and stuff? No, she just comes out, runs past Mila, and says, "By the way," she's a by the wayer as well. I know she
She
is.
totally is. She
She
the spinel. She taught me that the spinel is the name of this stone that I saw in a vision. It was very large in my vision, and it's a big deal. Long story, vision, but the short of it was I wasn't able to figure out what the stone was. And then randomly last night she comes in and says, do you know what the crystal spinel is? And I was like, I don't think I've heard of that one. And she was like, huh. And she just wandered away. So of course I'm, doing this search engine on it, and pops up. It's the stone in my vision that I've been seeing since 2020, and I've not been able to figure out what stone it is. It's a spinel.
So she by the wayed you and made it a thing.
Yeah, she
But
totally
see,
did.
so her biosphere, whether it was tapping into yours or not, she just by the wayed you, and then this is what. So we'll be by the way. I love all this new lingo. So. Like you'll see years down the track, they'll use all this lingo, and it will be like more biblical.
Right? They
Like the
by
word,
the way.
and the word thing will be like, whoa, she said the thing. And they're like, whoa, it's the thing.
It's crazy though. We really are the main characters of the story right now. You're playing it out, all of
Yeah,
us.
yeah. And it it does. It feels better. It just seems to work. It works in our family, and it does heal. It really does heal, and it's it becomes magical. It looks magical because you've been told all the way along that it's not real, and it's funny because all the ones that say to me, "Oh, that's make believe," or "That's not real," or "Do you have some scientific evidence about this?" And I'm like,
Right.
"No, I actually don't. I'm actually glad that I don't." But how
Right.
do you know this? Oh, a grasshopper told me. Like, so you're gonna risk your life with a grasshopper? And I went, yeah. Have you seen what they're doing over there?
Right. They seem to have it figured out.
I'm going with the grasshopper and the sheep and the dog because they seem to know.
Yeah.
They do. They seem to know, and they don't get in the way.
Yeah.
And it's when I get in the way that it gets into a hold. So
Yeah. Right. Stay out your own way.
yeah,
That's one of those things I hear a lot from spirit too. That you're getting in your way. We get in our own way a lot when we follow the conditioning that we've been taught growing up, from that we're getting from our peers, from the media, wherever. We're taught these things that teach us to be diminished in our own power and to not believe yourself. Just like, for instance, the example of the scientific method. You just brought this up. The scientific method teaches you to try to disprove your theory. When spirit says that even if 2% of belief is missing, then it won't work as well. Like, in order for things in spirit to work completely, we need 100% belief, to suspend your disbelief, basically. But in the scientific method, it teaches you to create disbelief to make it not work.
wow. So to so so now we're making this into a thing. So to get in the way, right, is something about target, get in the way. But to by the way is uh, breathe thy way.
Yeah.
So it's the hom of us. Breathe thy way. Get in way. Get in way isn't get in. I'm going to go with by thy way, because the word by even has a weird buzz to it. But by is to breathe, sail, breath, wind, the wind of us.
Right.
Without the wind of us, there's no us. And I learnt this through our dog dying last year in the E3, is she taught me that even when the heart stops beating, the lungs still breathe. It's the breath is the last to go. But because I was allowed to see the final breath, I could see this because she was in hospice, not in hospice Pietel. If she was in hospice Pietel, I probably wouldn't have seen that because it would have been interfered or informed. So by me seeing her lungs keep breathing, I learned that the sail, it's the will of us. That's the will of us.
You just got me on a just weird. I went someplace. Way. Yeah, hospice. Sorry, hospice. Way. Isn't that the thing? Remember when we were kids?
Another thing.
Yeah, like, little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet, eating her curds and whey. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and scared Miss Muffet away. Spider is creation.
8. So scared because she's scared of the spider because everyone tells you spiders are bad because they're Halloween.
Right.
Wow.
She
So
said way
what's curd is peas, peasant, please ants. It's starches and sugars. So she's eating her curd. She's eating, wow. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet eating her curds and whey. So she's digesting the starch, which is feeding you know who.
Right.
And then along comes the spider to talk to her and say, you got to get back into the 8 of you, the center of your web, the target, Mila's background, and she runs away with fear.
Right.
Because she's too busy eating the curd.
Right. She's buying the BS from the local news outlet.
Have you heard?
Right. Let me
have
tell
you heard
today.
Well, this is funny though, because now the have you heard is a thing where Mila lives, is because now everyone goes to the store and they're going, you know that Yankee? She's put a pumpkin on top of the Christmas tree. It's not going to work. It's going to fall over. And now she's got 2 festivals mixed into one.
Yep.
It's just not right.
It's so much fun, though. It's so much fun.
So then they come
she puts on her dragon costume and fairy wings and ET eyes, and then says, "I'm an ET," and she's just running around the house. I was like, it was so much fun. It was so much fun seeing, like, that's her example of what ETs are. Is they have wings, they can see in 5 directions, they look like a dragon, and they're never seen. So they actually had to hide.
Well, so now they're going to see her running past the window as well, and they go, "Oh, look what they've done to the kiddo."
It's so much fun, though, because I think that more than anything, it does inspire, after people get over the fact that you're not doing it the way you're supposed to or whatever, it inspires people to be in play. And a lot of people do, and like at first, people either love me or despise me because those who have a hard time with me is because I don't follow the rules that they think they have to. And no one has to follow these rules. That's the point. None of us have to follow those rules just to be in play. No one, who made those rules? Who decided, right?
So even Maddie's costume has dragon, fairy, and ET and human eyeballs, right? A mix of all of these. That's wrong. If she went to a
Right.
kid's party because they've all been under this way, there's something wrong with this kid's costume.
Right.
Whereas to me, I'm like, that's the best costume. She's got it all going on. That's the layers of us, you know. But
Yeah.
we just have to allow that in others, even if it feels wrong for you. Allow that, you know. And you know, in our family, in our dynamics, the things feel wrong to one member to the other. But that's that's what makes us all different star seeds, because the dust in us all comes from different places. So if by you seeing something wrong in someone else, that means you're seeing that you're seeing they're a stardust. You're seeing the star being that they are. So even
Yeah.
you saying, not you, Mila, but I'm just saying, just someone saying that outfit's wrong, that means you've acknowledged that they're different. So even that isn't something wrong that you've said, it's just that you've noticed something different. It's just a different way. It's just coming at how we feel in a different angle. So when you see someone and they're acting bad, it's not that they're acting bad, they're just acting how they are.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
I do.
you're
Yeah.
going, oh, they're a different star being. I don't know where that galaxy's from. They're from far, far away.
And I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you keep going far,
We
far
are
away. A
all
lot of those
cosmic.
ones you keep saying, you keep going far, far away. Because our galaxy and my galaxy aren't meant to mix yet. And then maybe
Right.
when they'll come together and this is what's happening with the comets. The comets are going, I like them. And that's what the whales
Yeah.
are doing. I like them. That's what the animals are doing. I like them. The trees are doing the same too. Oh, they remember us. Let's talk more to them.
Yeah. You know, we didn't even get to that topic, but I know we need to kind of wrap it up. But there's part of me wanted to talk about how the trees talk to us. They do. They really do. And they're talking to us in just as we talk about with everything else, these other code and stuff, but we can also feel and hear them. And so I guess what I want to say is that if you have a chance, especially since I know a lot of us are getting ready to go into colder months, if you have the chance to go outside and to put your bare feet on the roots of a tree and to put your hands around the tree, touch the tree, to communicate with that tree while she's still awake, because we're going into hibernation soon. You'll start to hear the voice within you. Give it some time. These trees are here and they've been watching you.
Yeah.
The tree watchers. There's a whole thing about this, the witches and the trees and the tree
Well, this will
watchers.
be interesting because now you're putting it out there because we've brought attention to the tree and it's a thing, right? So now everyone has homework. So go out and have different encounters with the trees and then all come back together and share. Because
Yeah.
then then it makes it even more of a thing and more of a thing. Then the trees are like, yay, they're doing it. They're finally hearing us, they're hearing us. They're here
Yeah.
in us. They're here in us.
Ooh,
Yeah, they're here in us. Yeah.
I love that. And it's true. It's so true.
Yeah.
It rings true. The rings of a tree, get it? there's They're the silent watchers that have been present for so long. The rock people are another uh, civilization that are similar to that of the trees. There's an ancient, wise energy. They're the antennas. We have antennas on us. These hairs, these are antennas. You know, we we glow out and we receive signal. And just as you said, we are made of all the cosmos, and some people um, haven't turned on that part of their dormant DNA, and so it might be in conflict to them. I'm not here to irritate. I'm not here to like inspire someone to be annoyed because I'm breaking the rules that they believe in. I'm just gonna have fun, you know. And if it doesn't, if it bothers somebody, I hope that they continue to move on, you know, and that they go have their own little world. In the meantime, you know, if you're here to play, we're here to play with you, you know. And it's all about being in a place of play, whatever play means for you, you know. And in this next little while, I mean, we just had a really big deal. We, you know, like the solar or the lunar eclipse occurred, and along with the full moon, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on in this particular month, you know. But then we also have a annular solar eclipse on October 2nd, um, on 10/2. And then, you know, we tend to do a lot of different things in October. um, and this leads into the 10/10 portal, which is when this comet becomes the brightest in the sky, at least in the northern hemisphere, the brightest of anything in the sky. I mean, it becomes the brightest at the October 12th. What I'm saying is, there's a lot of things happening leading into, of course, uh, October 17th, when we're having that square of Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus. That's also during the third supermoon, and that particular alignment in the sky hasn't happened since the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. This is just really cool. It's really cool. All of this stuff, what the spirit shows me, it looks like one of those maps you see at the mall, and there's a big red arrow that says you are here, and there's like 20,000 arrows all around it, because it's like, you getting it yet? We're here. You're here. We're all here. And so what are you going to do about it? This is the beginning of the new world, it's not just the end of the old, you know. So what are you going to choose to do with this time? Make it a place of play and join us in this awakening, or to be upset and concerned and be in the place of fear and choosing to do something different. And whatever you choose is the correct choice for you. It's just, if you want to play, you know where we're at.
Yeah.
Right?
This will become, if this is annoying, then look at why you're annoyed. Like, that's what I say, you know, if
Right.
you're irritated, look at why, because this will be part of the healing process for you. But sometimes when you're too annoyed, you can't go there. So I get it. I was that person too. So, you know, look, there's no right, or like we say, there's no right or wrong way, is there? So, yeah. If you want to put on the 3 costumes, go put on 3.
Yeah.
And you know, and be proud of who you are, because everyone needs everyone to be different. Everyone needs everyone to be you, because then you make me complete.
Ha. I
Yeah,
like that.
and you do. And so, Eva, so many thank yous to you, Mila, and your audience, and all that your audience shares to Mila, because every drop that everyone shares assists all of us. So keep going, all of you, keep sharing, and we're all going to be great at doing this if we keep going. Our will.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in a place of play makes it the easiest to
Yeah.
get there. What do they say? Why did time go so fast? Because you were having fun.
Yeah.
Well, I love you all. Tomorrow is Friday for this side of the hemisphere, so we are doing our normal group Zoom meeting. It's going to be at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will post a link in the YouTube and Telegram for you guys to see it, and it's probably Facebook too. Yeah, of course. And then I'll see you all then. If I don't catch you on the Zoom meeting, I will see you on my regular slot on Sunday. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Elsa, for being here. This has been so much fun.
Thank you, Mila. Thank you.